He lost. He made another one. He lost again. End of story.
Tony Soprano didn't destroy Davey Scatino's life. Davey did it all by himself. There's a certain breed of man who insists on setting himself on fire and then demands sympathy for the burns. Davey Scatino is the Sopranos' poster child for this phenomenon.
Carmela, my husband has a disease, a serious gambling problem.
A compulsive gambler, a poor liar, and a man whose sense of entitlement could power all of North Jersey. He's not so much a tragic figure as he is a textbook case of self-destruction with a smile. Let's begin with the basics.
Davey, this isn't a game for you.
Tony Soprano told him no 5 times. Not once, not twice, 5. The man practically tattooed the word on his forehead. And still, Davey wheedled, begged, and bargained his way into the executive game.
Hey, what are you holding? I didn't really expect to gamble tonight.
Showing up without an invitation, without cash, and without shame.
Say hello to Davey Scatino.
He asked not only to play, but to be staked the money. That's not ambition. That's parasitism. Tony's refusal wasn't subtle either. He wasn't coy. He wasn't dangling a carrot. He was clear. But clarity and compulsion don't mix. Davey's disease demanded action, demanded risk, demanded ruin.
I'm opening my mail, and it's a lawsuit.
So he ignored every warning sign, every outstretched hand telling him to turn back, and walked headlong into the very pit he'd been cautioned against.
Tony fucking Soprano. It's a bust out.
Some insist Tony orchestrated it all, lurking like a hawk waiting for a squirrel to stumble. But this isn't a Bronx Tale, and Davey isn't a misguided kid who just needs a slap on the wrist. He was a grown man who knew exactly what kind of fire he was playing with.
If after one day you don't give me every penny, I'm going to send somebody down to your joint every Saturday.
Tony did what every mobster does. He made the best of another man's bad decisions.
You go home, Richie.
That's not kindness, but it's not entrapment either.
They juice you to death, and you thank them for letting you have a card.
It's the natural ecosystem of North Jersey. Scorpions sting, gamblers gamble, and the house always wins. The poker itself was revealing.
I mean the game. You think I can take these guys or what? Davey.
Davey's style, if it can be called that, was pure degen energy. Aggressive, impatient, and utterly allergic to folding.
Incredible luck.
He got lucky once, scooping a $5,000 hand, and could have cashed out with dignity. He might even have squared things with Richie April, the far more dangerous creditor already breathing down his neck. Instead, he went south, trying to squirrel money off the table, a violation of poker etiquette so basic that even the most reckless gamblers wouldn't attempt it. Imagine winning a $50,000 pot and then shaving off $20,000 to settle debts mid-game. It's cheating dressed up as desperation. And even then, he couldn't stop.
Congratulations, it's a fucking disaster.
Tony's reaction to this idiocy was less rage than disbelief. He wasn't shocked Davey lost, only at how quickly he managed to accelerate the collapse.
Planned bankruptcy.
Tony expected a slow bleed. Instead, he got a speed run of financial ruin. By the time Richie stormed in, turning a business matter into a personal one, Davey had already written his obituary. And what does Davey do after being bled dry? He talks about heading to Las Vegas, as if geography could cure compulsion, as if the neon desert were anything other than the same trap with brighter lights.
Davey, don't tell me you blew Eric's college fund.
This is a man who loses his son's college fund, his business, and nearly his life, yet still daydreams about the next wager.
The savings, the business, everything.
It's not merely addiction, it's delusion. The common counterpoint, of course, is that Tony was predatory, that he bled a friend dry, parasitically busting out a man who trusted him. This argument falls apart under scrutiny.
Don't ruin his life.
Tony wouldn't have done it to Artie Bucco. True friend, genuine bond.
Do business with outside friends. You understand?
But Davey? They went to high school together, nothing more. Acquaintance at best.
Our kids go to the same school together.
Nostalgia and the line, "our kids go to school together," do not constitute immunity from the laws of the street. Davey wasn't targeted because he was close. He was tolerated because he was convenient.
Davey, this isn't a game for you.
And let's remember, Tony did warn him, repeatedly, A frog told a scorpion not to sting, and the scorpion stung anyway. Why? Because it's his nature.
You need 5Gs just to sit in this game.
Tony understood Davey's nature better than Davey did. He knew an addict can't stop when he's up. He knew the thrill was the prize, not the winnings. And he knew that once Davey sat at that table, the outcome was inevitable.
V, not fucking now, okay?
Yes, Tony profited. Yes, he ended up with a sporting goods store to bust out.
Well, fuck that. He's never getting paid anyway.
Davey, how we doing with that Bookshare airline tickets?
But if it hadn't been Tony, it would have been Richie, or worse. At least Tony gave him a chance to walk away. That's more than most in that world would have offered.
Davey, what the hell are you doing here?
The truly dark twist is that Davey wasn't even gambling for survival. He wasn't feeding his family or paying off medical bills. He was chasing an illusion of control, of power, of doing something for himself. His life was pedestrian, propped up by family and the boring obligations of middle-class respectability. Gambling was his rebellion, his chance to matter.
Everything.
And like every addict who mistakes chaos for freedom, he ended up enslaved to it. Some viewers try to mine tragedy here, Davey as the unlucky casualty of Tony's ruthless business sense. But sympathy has its limits.
I mean the game.
A man who ignores every warning, lies to his creditor's face, and borrows more money while his supposed friend is asleep does not deserve a violin. He deserves a mirror.
Anyone want to close the lights?
Is that a game?
He's a piss of this kid, isn't a game.
The truth is simple, if not satisfying. A grown man made a bet. He lost. He bet again. He lost again. End of story.
He lost. He made another one. He lost again. End of story.
To weep for Davey Scatino is to weep for the moth that flies into the flame after being told it burns.
What the fuck could you possibly have?
What makes his arc resonate isn't the unfairness, it's the inevitability.
He told me not to get in the game.
It's my nature.
This is the Sopranos distilled. People recognizing the right decision, refusing it, and then doubling, tripling down on the wrong one. Davey's collapse isn't some aberration. It's the rule. It's what happens when weakness meets opportunity, when self-delusion meets the mob, and when a gambler mistakes luck for strategy. So no, Tony's ruination of Davey Scatino isn't his most unforgivable sin. It's not even in the top 10. Davey wasn't preyed upon. He was handed a dozen exits and refused every one.
You got some fucking balls, you know that?
I do.
If Tony hadn't crushed him, Richie would have hospitalized him, or the casinos would have swallowed him whole. In the end, Scatino's story is not about mob cruelty or the brutality of Tony Soprano. It's about addiction. Gambling is the only villain here, one that requires no enforcer to do its work. Davey lost his business, his family, and his dignity because he wanted to sail where he could not swim. He was warned. He was told no 5 times. He heard every word and chose ruin anyway. And that, more than Tony's scorpion sting, is the real tragedy of Davey Scatino. Davey went all in and lost. You can win. Subscribe.